مرحبا. This is Rihab El Hélou and welcome to our fourth lecture on the Phoenician Alphabet Hidden Mysteries. In this fourth lecture, we will tackle letters Gamma or Gemel and Samak or Simak, starting with the third letter Gamma or Jamma of the Phoenician alphabet related to the Gemini Constellation. So, yalla, let's begin. First of all, Gamma or Jamma or Gemel is the third letter of the Phoenician alphabet known as Gamma in Greek and Coptic, Gimel in Hebrew, Gamal or Jamal in Syriac, and Jim in Arabic, having a numeric value that equals to 3 according to the letter order in the Phoenician alphabet and to the Phoenician gematria numeric value, and denoting on our created circle the third hour after dawn as illustrated. Now, regarding the etymology of the name of the third letter of the Phoenician alphabet, which is Gamma, the term Gamma or Jamma or Jimel means camel or Jamal in Arabic. It also means some, speak, sexual intercourse, and Gemini in Persian, Arabic, and Turkish. Thus, referring by its alphabetical order, which is the third letter of the Phoenician alphabet, and its etymological meaning to the constellation Gemini, the third constellation of the zodiac. Now, we notice that the letter opposite to Gamma on our alphabet circle, as illustrated, is the 15th letter of the Phoenician alphabet, Samak or Simak, known as Sigma in Greek, Sima in Coptic, Samech in Hebrew, Semkath in Syriac, and Sin in Arabic. Now, regarding the etymology of the name of the 15th letter of the Phoenician alphabet, which is Samak or Simak, the letter opposite to Gamma on the circle, the term Samak or Simak means Arcturus, or what is known by Simak or as Simak al-Rameh in most of ancient languages. And what is remarkable is that according to the observations of Ptolemy, Euctemon, Eris of Amira, and John the Lydian, the appearance of the constellation of Gemini, Gamma, during the month Ayyaru or May is accompanied by the disappearance of Arcturus. This allows us to conclude that the third letter of the Phoenician alphabet, Gamma or Gemel, represents the third constellation of the zodiac, Gemini, and the letter Samak opposite to Gamma represents Arcturus. Noting that according to Phoenician Egyptian mythology, the camel represents the god Adonis, Osiris, Dusaris or Duceres in full virility, who after having been revived by Isis is ready for coitus with her in order to impregnate Isis with their son Horus, Habulun, Apollo the lion. Noting that the month Ayyaru or May in Babylonian calendar, the month of the appearance of the constellation Gemini and the disappearance of Arcturus, refers by the etymology of its name to the constellation Gemini and to duality and bilateral marriage for procreation, where we find in ancient Egyptian the word Ari, which means binary, duality, friend, associate, partner, and companion, and the words Yar or Ayar, Ar or Ari, Aur, Uar, and Ear mean to conceive, be pregnant, manufacture, to make, to do, to create, to form, to fashion, to beget, to produce, to pass the time, to be made, done, created, and also mean sum, equation, plural, and measure, noting that the word Iyar means in ancient Egyptian brilliance, splendor. All these meanings correspond to the meaning and to the symbolism of the Phoenician letter Gamma. So again, according to our circle of the Phoenician alphabet and the distribution of the relics of Osiris Adonis on this circle, the relic tongue corresponds to the constellation Gemini, the letter Gamma or Jamma or Jemel, and to the constellation Arcturus or Samak, the letter Samak or Simak. Since the Phoenician letter Samak, opposed to the Phoenician letter Gamma, is the seventh letter after the letter Het Scorpio, thus representing the seventh relic of Adonis Osiris, which is the relic tongue. And what is remarkable is that the word Jam or Jami means to find a mouth, to speak in ancient Egyptian. It also means strength, power, might. And what is also remarkable is that the camel or Jamal, which is the emblem animal corresponding to the constellation Gemini or Gemini or Gemelli, and to the Phoenician letter Gamma or Jamal, is characterized by its tongue, so that in order to seduce females, the rotting camel sticks out a sort of soft, slobbery, puffy pink tongue known as dulla and shaqshaqa in Arabic, noting that the word Kamal or Gamal or Jamal means in ancient Egyptian camel and the word. And what is also remarkable is that the word Samak or Simak means in ancient Egyptian the guardian crocodile, where Si means a crocodile god in ancient Egyptian, and Mak or Maki means protection, protector, protecting, noting that the crocodile has no tongue according to an opinion universally accepted in antiquity and repeated by Herodotus, Diodorus of Sicily, Pliny the Elder, Ammianus Marcellinus, and Plutarch, who, in his book on Isis and Osiris, considers the crocodile to be a sacred animal and a living representation of God, since he is the only creature that has no tongue, since the divine word does not need a voice. And what is remarkable is that the letter Samak or Simak, that means the guardian crocodile, is the 15th letter of the Phoenician alphabet, noting that the temple of the crocodile god in Kom in Egypt features 15 pillars. And it is remarkable that this crocodile god is known by Sobek or Sabek, and Sabek can be turned into Samek, noting that the phenomenon where the letter B turns into M in languages is a specific type of sound change called lenition or fortition. Depending on the direction of the change, it is known as B to M lenition when B changes into M, and M to B fortition when M changes into B. This type of sound change is a common feature in historical linguistics, where languages evolve and change over time. Noting that the crocodile hidden in the dark waters without a tongue is like Osiris without his tongue, hidden in the dark waters of Osiris. Noting also that in enigmatic scenes in New Kingdom royal tombs, the nocturnal sun has to pass through the body of the crocodile, who symbolizes the primeval waters, in order to be reborn. Noting that according to traditional medicine, the blood of the camel, Jamal, cures epilepsy. Its droppings are recommended in apoplexy, which is consistent with the content of the MS manuscript Gotha 85, which considers that the musical mode Zīrāfkand, which corresponds to the sign Gemini, Gimel, or Gamma of the zodiac, is useful in case of headaches, tachycardia, and blood diseases. It is interesting to note that the presence of headaches during epileptic seizures is frequent, as well as the epileptic seizure bursts with falling, loss of consciousness, and biting of the tongue. Therefore, it is linked to the relic tongue. Noting that according to the Eastern musical tradition, the musical mode Ashar or Zīrāfkand is associated with the constellation Gemini. This is illustrated in As-Sayrawi's drawing of the moral tree circle, and also indicated by As-Samarqandi and in the manuscript MS Gotha 85. Noting that the musician Al-Kindi in his tetrad associates the Gemini sign of the zodiac with learning, therefore with language and tongue. It is interesting to note that the term Zīrāfkand is composed of the two words Zīrāf and Kand, and means the testicles of the camel or cameleopard, where Zīrāf means a cameleopard or a camel in Persian, and Kand or Kund or Gand means testicles, penis in Persian and Turkish, noting that the camel's and cameleopard's tongue is tough enough to deal with the thorns of trees and plants. This allows us to conclude that the Phoenician letter Gamma or Gimel, which symbolizes the union and marriage of Isis Astari and Osiris Adonis, and which refers to the constellation Gemini on the circle of the zodiac and to the third hour after dawn, correlates with the musical mode Ashar or Zīrāfkand, associated with the constellation Gemini, as already mentioned, and correlates with the relic tongue of the god Osiris Adonis, thus referring to the genesis of music therapy, which is related to the Phoenician alphabet and its hidden esoteric mysteries. It is interesting to note that most of the Oriental musical melodies that are sung in weddings are in the mode Ashar or Zīrāfkand, and this may be a reference to the joy and marriage of the two gods Isis Astarte and Osiris Adonis at the constellation Gemini, which means at the letter Gamma or Gemini. Interesting also to note that the final sum of the numerical values corresponding to the letters forming the words Gamma, Samak, Ayyaru, and Zīrāfkand leads us to the number 3, indicating that Gamma is the third letter of the Phoenician alphabet and the third hour after dawn on the Phoenician sundial, and that Samak is the third hour after sunset on the Phoenician water clock, and that Ayyaru is the third month of the Babylonian Phoenician calendar, and that Zīrāfkand is the third musical mode, which is consistent with the association of the month Ayyaru and the letters Gamma and Samak with the constellation Gemini, the third constellation on the circle of the zodiac, as already mentioned. Thus, the third Phoenician letter, Gamma or Jamal, whose name means Gemini, camel, marriage, and speaking, and the opposite letter to Gamma, which is the letter Samak, the 15th letter of the Phoenician alphabet, whose name means Arcturus and the guardian crocodile. These two letters encompass different constituents of the universe. The Gemini sign of the zodiac, the union and marriage of Isis and Osiris, the month Ayyaru or May, the third hour after dawn regarding letter Gamma, the third hour after sunset regarding letter Samak or Simak, the musical mode Zīrāfkand, and the cure of problems associated with the tongue. This was everything related to letters Gamma or Gimel and Samak, and in our next recorded video we will tackle letters Daltu or Dalet and Ain.